Hey there, I'm Tulio Pena, your Colorado Springs Realtor. Today, we're diving into one of the most common questions I get asked. What does $500,000 really buy you in Colorado Springs now? Whether you're moving from out of state or downsizing, upsizing, or just curious about the current market, we're going to break it down. I'll walk you through the kinds of homes you can expect, what neighborhoods to explore, and what lifestyle $500,000 can afford you in 2025. Let's start with a little market context. As of this month, the median sold price for a single family home in Colorado Springs is hovering around $475,000. That's more so for the sold ones, and around $490,000 for the active listings, depending on the neighborhood. So with $500,000, you're right in the heart of the action. You're not scraping the bottom, and you're not competing in the luxury tier. You're in a solid price point that opens doors in a lot of great parts of town. Now let's look at what that actually gets you, starting with location. With $500,000, you've got solid options across Colorado Springs, but each neighborhood tells a different story. Let me walk you through a few of the standouts. Number one, Banning Lewis Ranch. Newer construction, master plan community, great schools, and HOA perks like pools and trails and a lot of activities for individuals, couples, and families. Around $500,000 here gets you a 3 to 4 bedroom home built in the last 5 to 10 years, usually with upgraded finishings and 2-car garages. Now, in Banning Lewis Ranch, what you got to keep in mind though, most of the lots aren't really that large. 4,500 to about 6,000 square foot, and 6,000 would be considered one of the bigger ones in all honesty. So lots aren't too big, but stuff is a lot newer and there's a lot going on there in an HOA that actually provides you with amenities and activities. Number two, Stetson Hills and Springs Ranch. I say them together because they're right by each other. Springs Ranch is to the south, Stetson Hills is to the north, and they abut one another. These neighborhoods offer mature trees, established schools in District 49, and bigger lots. At $500,000, expect a larger 4-bedroom home, maybe about 2,500 square foot to 3,000 square foot, and often with finished basements. Newer homes often don't have finished basements unless you order it that way from a builder. But once a home has been around for a little while, and Stetson Hills Springs Ranch was predominantly built in the 1990s, you'll see much more finished basements in those areas. Another thing that's cool about those areas is they are right along what we call the Powers Corridor. Powers is one of the main boulevards on the eastern side of Colorado Springs, full of restaurants, movie theaters, all that kind of stuff, nightlife, everything that you really need without going downtown. You can still go downtown. Our downtown's cool, but you got like everything you need right along Powers Boulevard. All right, let's go to number 3. Falcon, Meridian Ranch area. Meridian Ranch is a large planned urban development in Falcon/Peyton. Okay, we kind of use Falcon, Peyton interchangeably. Around the $500,000 price point, you're going to get a house with a lot that's very similar to Colorado Springs, about 6,000 square foot. You got to start pushing the 600 mark to get the larger lots, like the acre lot or plus in the Falcon area. But you can get a very nice newer home built in the last 10 to 15 years, 3 bedrooms to 4 bedrooms. Sometimes you might score a 5 in the Falcon area. And often you will find homes with larger garages. Sometimes you'll see 3-car garages or 3-car tandem garages are pretty common in the Falcon area. Let's go to number 4. The Powers Corridor. If convenience is key, access to shopping, dining, and military bases like Peterson Air Force Base and Schriever Air Force Base, Powers gives you that. Homes here can vary a lot in age and in style, but $500,000 buys plenty of square footage and often modern upgrades. Now, Powers kind of divides this eastern side of Colorado Springs. You'll see somewhat newer stuff along the eastern edge of Powers, and on the western edge, you'll see homes more built in the 1980s. Okay, very nice homes, nice communities, but like you'll see Old Farm area and Villa Loma area. These are like off between Constitution up through the North Carefrees. on that side. When you go to the eastern side, you see homes more built in the 1990s into the early 2000s. Okay, so that's along the Powers Corridor. Once again, lots of dining and entertainment along that corridor. Number 5, we've got west side, Old Colorado City, closer to the mountains, charming, full of character, lots of turn-of-the-century homes there, but $500K here might buy you less space and more age. You're paying for location and vibe. Think of a bungalow or ranch style with charm, floors that creak a little bit, but Victorian appearances, the old glass doorknobs, wood on those floors. And many of the parts of Old Colorado City are in areas that we would consider more walkable, where you can walk over to Colorado Boulevard, where there's a lot of nice shops and restaurants and places that you would, take your relatives when they come to visit. We have a lot of neat festivals and farmers markets in that area. So Old Colorado City is pretty cool, but your $500,000 isn't going to take you as far. You're paying for the charm, all right? Let's talk about style and features. What does a $500K home look like inside and out? Common features at a $500,000 home: 3 to 5 bedrooms, 2.5 to sometimes 4 bathrooms, 2-car garages. In some neighborhoods, you might score a 3, 2,000 to 3,000 square feet, open concepts, modern kitchens with granite or quartz countertops, stainless steel appliances, fenced rear yards, optional finished basements, or bonus loft areas. In some of the newer homes built in the last, I'd say 2014 to present, we're seeing more homes going vertical, less excavations down into the earth, but more homes going upward, where instead of a basement family room, you're seeing a big loft. In new builds, you'll see cleaner lines, bright finishes, and smart tech. In older neighborhoods, you'll find mature landscaping, larger lots, and sometimes mid-century character. $500,000 doesn't always mean turnkey luxury, but it should get you something well kept, functional, and suited for a variety of family needs. Let's shift to what $500,000 really means for your monthly budget. With 20% down, $100,000 say, a loan amount of $400,000, estimated the mortgage at a 6.75 interest rate, your monthly payment is going to hover somewhere between $2,600 and $2,800 per month. We don't really know what the taxes are until you pick your home. So aside from that, add utilities and HOA fees if applicable, and maintenance. So between that $2,600 and $2,800 mark is what one should expect in that price point. Now, if you're using a VA loan, which many of our clients do, you might not need a down payment at all. That changes your monthly numbers and makes a $500,000 house even more attainable. Property taxes in El Paso County are relatively low compared to many other states, which helps stretch your budget. And depending on the neighborhood, you might be paying HOA fees, usually in the $30 to $80 a month range. But in places like, say, Banning Lewis Ranch, those fees become a real value because you get actually a lot of amenities for them. Beyond the home, what kind of lifestyle does $500,000 buy you in Colorado Springs? You're looking at access to hundreds of miles of trails, proximity to parks like Palmer Park, Fox Run, and Garden of the Gods. And these are not little parks with just swing sets and stuff like that. We're talking about huge parks that make you really feel like you're in Colorado. These have mountainous structures, and some of them you can do some serious mountain biking, rock climbing. Many of them have dog parks as well, and just miles and miles of walking or hiking trails. Easy to drive to downtown in these areas of Colorado Springs that are falling the 500 mark. Pretty much every town in Colorado Springs, or every subdivision in Colorado Springs, is within about 20 to 30 minutes from the mountain, from starting actually at a trailhead, a hike, a community that still feels close-knit and safe. Most of our communities here are that way. Military-friendly environment with a mix of families, professionals, and retirees. Colorado Springs is still one of the best values along the Front Range when you compare it to cities like Denver, Boulder, or Fort Collins. $500,000 here goes further, just in space, but also in lifestyle. So if you've been wondering what $500,000 buys you in Colorado Springs, now you know. You get options, you get quality, and you get lifestyle. If you're thinking about moving here, let's talk. I can show you what's available today, help you crunch the numbers, and give you boots on the ground insight. And hey, if you found this video helpful, make sure to like, follow, or subscribe, and drop your questions or comments down below. I'd love to hear from you, and I answer every one of them. So hey, make sure to follow us on thepenateam.com, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.